Hi, my name is Alejandra and today I'm gonna share all my best advice to become a professional thrifter or at least become a very good one. As you know, thrifting is a great way to save money but also save the resources of this planet because they are limited and we want to use the things that are already out there as long as possible. But I totally get you if you feel very overwhelmed when walking into a thrift store, if you don't know where to start, if you don't know what to look for, and if you avoid thrifting because of those reasons. When I started thrifting, I also thought it was very overwhelming. And only like 10 years ago, it was a completely different experience to go to a thrift store than what it is now. Today, most thrift stores are way more organized, tidy, clean, and nicer than they were 10 years ago. So if you haven't been in a while, I think you should go now. I also want to mention that there are curated vintage stores for high-end brand if that's what you're looking for. And there are also secondhand stores that focus more on trendy brands and they only sell things that is like 1 or 2 seasons old. My first advice is to know what you are looking for. I think this is something that we often forget when we look for things to wear or things to our home. We do this when we go grocery shopping, and that's to write a list. It's super helpful to have a list of what you're looking for because it will keep you focused and on track. And this doesn't only go for thrifting. It can always be overwhelming to go shopping, so it's good to have a list, and you can write this list in your phone so you always have it with you. Or if you want to go old style, you can also write your list on a paper. So in the beginning of a season, I go through what I need in my wardrobe and I write down whatever it is that I need. But I keep the list updated with things whenever I stumble upon something and I feel the urge to have it. Sometimes that can be a specific thing or more of a category of something. At the moment, I'm looking for accessories, I'm looking for earrings, I'm looking for jewelry, I'm looking for those kind of things. So I write that down on my list. But it can also be a specific thing, a specific brand, a specific shoe, whatever. Write that down on your list so you know when you are in the store that this is what we're looking for. If you are looking for something specific, I also encourage you to go to the online sites where you can buy things secondhand. Here in Scandinavia, we have Tradera, we have Sellpy, we have Trendsales that is now called Vinted because I think Vinted bought Trendsales. In Sweden, you also have Blocket, and there are a bunch of different apps that you can use. Most of these websites and apps have a search bar where you can also save your search, and you can choose to get notified whenever the brand or the search words are showing up. If you're looking for something very specific, I encourage you to go to those search bars and turn on the notification for your item. This is super helpful. I am currently looking for a teak wardrobe, and it's very nice to receive those notifications whenever something pops up in my neighborhood or in my area. I also have turned on some notifications for things that I'm looking for as Christmas gifts for my husband. So that's a good advice to already plan now for things that you want to give people for Christmas. Sometimes when we go to thrift stores, we get overly excited because it's cheaper. But I would encourage you to not buy things only because they are cheap or only because they are in silk or something like that. Sometimes I get a little excited when I see a shirt in silk, even though it's not something that I'm currently looking for or that I need. Leave those things for someone else to love if it's not something that you are actively looking for. Don't buy things only because they are cheap, because that means more waste in your wardrobe. The secret to find those hidden gems in the thrift stores is to go often. I like to go in daytime, in the morning, or when they open. And here's the thing, if you are thrifting in Copenhagen, a lot of the thrift stores are actually closed during the evenings and the weekends. A lot of them are run by volunteers, and I understand that they also want their evenings off and their weekends off. It would be helpful if they were open during the weekends because I think that's when the most people have time to go thrifting. This leads me to my next tip, that is, don't go thrifting when you're hungry. Actually, don't go shopping. Don't do anything if you're hungry. Sometimes when we are thrifting, and I mean myself when I say this, I see potential in things that there is no potential in. Or I buy things thinking that this is something that I will remake or do something with in the future, But it's important to not buy those things only because you can like see a vision, unless you actually have a plan for them. If you have a plan for them and you have the tools and you can see this happening, definitely go for it. That's a great way to find those really cheap pieces and make them into something cool or functioning. I once found a brand new pair of jeans, but they were missing a button and they were very cheap because of this. But sewing in a button is super easy, so I just did that and I had a brand new pair of jeans in my size and they were perfect. But if it's something that requires more work and you know that you're not gonna do it realistically, I think you should leave that. Here are some things that I think you should buy. I think you should always go to the men's section. There are so many nice men's cashmere sweaters and cardigans that are in brand new condition that people forget about. The men's shirt section is also very nice. I bought this one. This is a men's shirt and I had forgotten about it because I was planning to do a little remake of it, but then I realized it's actually nice as it is and I'm gonna wear it more now. Here's some advice on what you should and shouldn't buy in terms of material. If I were you, I would not buy anything synthetic. Clothes that are made from polyester and other synthetic fabrics might smell. I once found a super nice dress, probably beginning of the 90s, and it was a mix of different materials. As soon as I took it home and I started hand washing it because it was a delicate piece, it smelled so bad of sweat. And I just felt like, no, this is too intense, it's not gonna work. But materials like linen and cotton can be washed quite warm, and that will help you to remove stains and also get rid of any smell. A little trick to remove smell is also to use white vinegar. You can soak your garment in white vinegar to get rid of smell and then put it in the wash. And here's my best and secret advice. Download the Google search app. Maybe you don't need if you have a Google phone, but on my iPhone I need to download a separate search app from Google, which allows me to do an image search. This helps me find the original price of the item that I'm holding and also just find more information in general. Sometimes I have found something in the thrift store and I think it looks super cool and I take a picture of it and it turns out that is mass-produced something and it's not as cool as I thought. Or the opposite, I have found things in the thrift store that are quite rare or are at a very good price, and then I know it's worth to buy it. I hope these tips were helpful and that you start buying more things secondhand. See you soon!